beloveds. This is Lainey Love beaming in. I am a transformational catalyst and the cosmic creatrix of the Sacred Revolution Oracle. The second edition is now available. The link will be down below. I wanted to beam in today to do a reading for the new moon in Pisces that is coming March 2nd, 2022. And this is a potent moment because there is a massive Pisces stellium actually in the 10th house that is happening right now. And the Pisces energy is the mystic, it's the dreamer, the oracle, the seer, the oneness energy, the really tuning into our collective humanity and that galactic Gaia unity consciousness in so many ways. And so we have together with the new moon and the sun, also Jupiter and Neptune. And Jupiter is the expander, the great expander. So it expands anything it touches. And Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. So it's just so much Pisces energy. And it's a really big time right now to dream the new dream awake, to awaken from the nightmare, and to really participate in co-creating and dreaming the earth anew. And this is actually one of the pillars, one of the 13 pillars of the sacred art of sparkling shamelessly, is to co-create and dream a new world into being. And it's actually in our inner circle, this moon cycle, the pillar that we are journeying with. And midwife, the new earth, is the theme that we are working with as well, because we really have that opportunity now to really be in the dream, the vision, and to really call that in. What is the world we want to see that might not be what we are seeing now reflected on the 3D in front of us with what is going on in world events, which are in some ways astounding and in some ways not surprising at all when we have power-hungry patriarchs that are provoking unwarranted attacks against sovereign beings. This, in a lot of ways, has been the history of patriarchy against women and marginalized peoples, and truly coming into a new place of the power of love instead of the love of power, which has come up in past readings as well. And so this is an opportunity to dream that awake now. What do we want the new earth to see, to be like, to feel like, to smell like, to taste like, and really bring in that multi-sensory capacity that we have. And then we also have a Capricorn stellium that's happening as well in the 8th house with Mars and Venus and Pluto together. And as we know, we have entered into the time of the Pluto and Capricorn return for the USA, which I spoke about in the Oracular Astrology of 2022 reading in depth for the whole year. Which, if you haven't gotten that yet, it's a deeply supportive tool that goes through month by month, the support energies to really, that you can lean into to be able to support you on your revolutionary journey at this time. And I talk a lot more about the Pluto return, but as we can see, the direct hit was on the 20th, and then, world broke out into war and many other things are happening right now. So there is this rebirth energy with Pluto, which is the one who really comes in and helps us to die away to all that no longer serves us. So this is the opportunity for us to truly clear the patriarchal energies that aren't in service and to dismantle those fully so that we can really co-create this new earth together in a very profound way. And so some big energies, and the fact that the Pisces stellium is in the 10th house, the 10th house is destiny, it's legacy. So we can really, in some ways, dream our collective destiny awake now and into being in a new way. And there is a lot of revolutionary energy too with the Aquarius energy that's coming in here too now. And so really letting ourselves really tune in to what we want to revolutionize in our own lives and in the world. And so we're going to tap into the Sacred Revolution Oracle cards today for some guidance around this new moon and some energies that would support us, and feeling called to pull 3 cards today. And so just inviting you to take a moment here to close your eyes and to tune in. If there's any particular inquiry you have today that you might be able to listen in for an answer for in the reading. What is it that you most need to know for this new moon in Pisces? And even though this will be a group reading, there will be resonance for you and your own inquiry as well. So just holding that in your heart now and holding that inquiry as well of what is it that we most need to know for this new moon in Pisces, for this super watery, dreamy portal that we are in. How can we best utilize these energies at this time for the greater good? Okay, let's see who wants to come and play today. Let's see who is wanting to show up. Okay, tuning into your inquiry. Okay, let's see what cards have arrived. I'd love to show them to you first. Okay. So the first card we have is 28, which is activate your volcanic passion. Activate your volcanic passion. The next card is 11, rebirth yourself. I love that it matches today, the blue waters, the blue Piscean waters. And 25, wield your fierce sword of discernment. So just breathing these cards in. I just tune in for a moment here. What's really coming forward, especially with this activate your volcanic passion card, is around really tuning into what is your greatest heartbreak, what is your greatest joy, what really brings you alive. This card is all about coming wildly and unapologetically alive. So what is that for you? Because we're in a time that there is so much massive transformation happening so quickly. There's so much destruction, there's so much harm, there's so much violence, there's so much insanity really that is happening, that it is really important for us to wield our fierce sword of discernment and to stay in our lane as to what it is that we are here to do, what change we are here to bring. And that is usually connected with the gem that is in our wound. It's connected with our greatest heartbreaks and our greatest joy. It's connected with what brings us alive. Because when we are fully and unapologetically alive, we are truly in our peak human potential. We are living into our revolutionary potential in each moment and bringing our gifts, our medicine, our essence, and our aligned selves to the world, to the ecosystem as a nourishment, as nourishment for our collective thriving. And so what is it that you're most deeply passionate about? Where can you turn your energies right now with what is happening in the world, and let that influence the greater dream that you are holding on to? And allow yourself to dream big here, because Jupiter is massive. It expands everything. So let yourself dream big and don't ascribe to the tyranny of how it's going to get done or how it might happen. Let yourself freely dream into the most wild, free, alive aspects of self. What would your dream life look like? What would your dream vision for our world look like? Especially those of us who are holding the frequency of peace, who are holding the frequency of healing, who are holding that frequency of coming back into unity, of ending the story of separation and returning to our human family and returning to each other and remembering we belong to each other. So let yourself really dream big here from this deep place of passion, from your inner fire. And this card also is associated with our inner feminine flame. And so what is it too here? The Wield Your Fierce sort of discernment card is really looking for that sacred no. It's also the holy hell yes, that embodied holy hell yes, where you feel it in every cell and you know, like, yes, this is your dream. Yes, this is what you're here to create. Yes, this is what you are most deeply passionate about, or what breaks your heart the most. And to go there and to focus your life force there, because this card is really about focusing the fullness of your life force energies, and also really looking at what do you need to say no to, both in your own life and in the world. What do you need to cut down the sword? What do you need to cut away? What do you need to really release and clear fully so that you can step into the fullness of who you're here to be now, and so that you can be in support to the collective and what is happening at this time. So really allowing yourself to trim away the fat, the excess, the pieces that are no longer aligned, all the things that are draining your life force, that are leaking your power. It's time to say no to those, to bring your sacred no fiercely forward. And also for your sacred no for what is happening in the world. You know, looking at the feminists in Russia, looking at the Ukrainian women on the streets passing out seeds to soldiers, looking at Ukrainian teachers who are literally going into the front lines to really be part of a revolution. Like, this is real focused life force energy for transformation, for really saying, no, this is not okay. You cannot do this. This abuse of power, this sick abuse of power, we will no longer stand for this, especially against sovereign beings, sovereign entities. And really bringing that sacred no from this place of passion and with your heart lit up in service to what is happening. Letting yourself really be in these energies, because one of the shadow energies of all this Pisces is illusion. It is numbing out. It is addictions. It is reaching for the Netflix or the alcohol or the stimulants or whatever it is that you might use, you know, CBD, whatever it is, to not let yourself numb out, to not go back to sleep. This is a time where we can't go back to sleep because, you know, we're dreaming the new dream awake here. This has to be a waking dream, not numbing out, and really leaning in to what is happening and getting real about that, getting real about what is going on in the world, getting real about the harm that is being done every day, the harm that's being done against now LGBTQ people with legislation in Texas and Florida, like really looking at what is happening and saying, no, this is not going to happen, not on my watch. And so she is there with this ferocity, with that sword, to really start to, from this place of depth, of clarity, of intention, to draw that sword from a deep, loving, boundaried place to say no. And so that's a really important time here. And with the dream too, sometimes we can have so many dreams that want to see the light of day, and not all of them are meant to see the light of day. So also really tuning in, what is the dream that needs to be born now through you, that is most important, that is most in service, that is most aligned, that is going to bring you most alive, and to focus and channel your life force energies there for the transformation, using your hands as wands of light and energy going out, knowing that every time we connect in with the prayer field, that it makes a difference when we connect into the unseen realms to be able to affect change all across the globe. It matters. So how are you being invited to show up? What are you being invited to turn your life force energies towards and to channel them towards? And in this, really holding this 30,000 foot view of what is possible, holding an eagle eyes view of what is possible, and not getting caught in the minutia, not getting caught in illusion, and allowing yourself to feel the fullness of the dream that you are dreaming awake, both individually and collectively. And not being afraid to move through the shadows with the jaguar here, letting yourself move through the shadows that are needed to be confronted, to really cut away what is no longer in service, and to have that fierce discernment of where to turn your energies. Again, staying in your lane. What is it that you are here to do? Because if you try to take on everything, Pisces energy can also feel like this bleeding heart humanitarian energy. If you try to do everything and take everything on, you'll burn out and you won't have have that life force to be effective with what you're here to do, with what you are most passionate about, with what really lights you up, like the volcano here. And we're in a time of transformation. The serpent is here. The butterfly is in both of these cards. We know that we're in the chrysalis as a collective. And so how are you contributing? And with volcano energy, the lava creates new lands. It spews out passionate, fiery, intense, very Aries energy. It spews out, but then it creates new worlds, literally creates new lands. So how can we, with our passion, with our focus, with our force, with our energy, create new lands, birth new worlds, birth this new earth together? And it is a rebirth. And that's where this card really comes in. This card is about stepping into the fullness of our rainbow holographic essence. It is stepping into our unlimited potential. It is really going across the rainbow bridge from this space of darkness into balance, into harmony, into the divine masculine working in tandem with the divine feminine here, as well with the Sri Yantra. This is a birth that we are in. There is this small egg here holding this new life. And so we are gently tending to this life of the new earth that is wanting to come through, that is wanting to be born, that is wanting to be transformed. And if you can see here in the shadow of this card, it is actually a yoni. It's a rooted yoni. So we are being brought through the birth canal now into new life. And so really being clear about the dream that we are being reborn into, the dream that we want to show up as. Imagining if we were, the baby in the birth canal, we can't see anything, we don't know what's happening, we're totally in the unknown, we feel uncomfortable, we feel pressured, we might even feel some pain, we feel tension, there might be fear, we don't know what is to come. And so imagining that you are that baby in the canal, that we are collectively, and on the other side of that is this new life, this rebirth. It is the light. It is the new earth. And what do you want that to look like, feel like, taste like? How do you want to enter out of this birth canal? What portal do you want to pass through to see this new world? And even if you aren't able to see it reflected around you now at this time, even if what you are dreaming and seeing feels so far from what is real on the 3D in the matrix at this time, holding that vision fiercely, holding it with certainty, absolute certainty that it is possible to create it, that it is possible to create heaven on earth, that we can bring that return of Eden, that we can come into that galactic Gaia unity consciousness together, that we can awaken and remember together, that we can truly come into partnership and really come into a whole new paradigm of being that is more feminine-led leadership paradigm way of being. And that is cooperative, that is collaborative. This is the Aquarian age that is coming together in community, that is healing, that is revolutionary, that is really forging this ancient future, that is deeply tapped into the roots of the ancient knowing, the roots of these ancient indigenous life ways and ways of being, and bringing those forward into our future, into a healed, whole, inspiring future where all beings are respected and upheld, where all life is considered as sacred, is treasured and honored and revered as sacred. And really holding that firm vision with certainty of that world where all of us are honored and loved and respected for our gifts and medicine, where we have an end to the polarity, an end to the divides, where we come back into holy union with each other as human family, with an entire web of all life. That's really what the essence of the Sacred Revolution Oracle is about. And it's for these times to help us ignite this great homecoming to our bodies, to the earth, to each other, to remember we belong to each other and to that web of all life, and to respect and revere that in a deep, deep way. And so again, the Jaguar shows up here. So what shadows are needing to be cleared? What shadows around power? What shadows around our essence and who we're here to be? And this being here, she has this sundial with the uraeus, which in ancient Egyptian cosmologies is really sovereign feminine power. And so how can we now come into our sovereign feminine power and let that be what helps to lead us forward, what brings forward our deep passion, where we can really offer our gifts and medicine to the world, where we can truly be a force for transformation with this serpent energy that is here, and the transformation that is needed not only in our own lives and our families and communities, but the world. Because truly we are here to be those ecstatic embodied leaders, because you can tell she is in her ecstatic embodiment. She is fully rooted in that. Because of course we're in this period with the Taurus North Node that I've spoken to in previous readings here, that it is a time of sacred pleasure power. So tuning into what feels most nourishing in your body, what feels most aligned, how can you come into this rebirth? How can you come into this state of dreaming from a deeply empowered place that's rooted in your sacred pleasure, that is rooted in your ecstatic embodiment, that is rooted in the essence of who you are here to be, and having fierce discernment to cut away anything that is not aligned with that. Not letting them steal our joy, steal our radiance, steal our celebration, and also taking the time we need to rest, to restore, to recharge. And that's one of the beautiful things about the big cats. So since the Jaguar is in both of these cards, the big cats know how to rest. They're resting 60 to 70% of the time. They're luxuriating, they're licking their paws, they're laid back, they are lounging in the sun, they're receiving the pleasure, they're in ecstatic union with the earth, the ecstatic alive earth. But when it's time for them to take action, when it's time for them to show up and pounce, they're ready. They have the energy, they have the momentum, they have the stamina, they have that fire to move towards where they are needed, to move towards the medicine that is needed to be brought forward, to be in service to the collective in a way that brings you fully in alignment with what brings you most alive. And that, again, could be what breaks your heart, but to allow yourself to go there, because these Piscean waters are deep. It's like the infinite vast ocean. So let yourself feel the emotions of what is real now, instead of tuning out, instead of numbing out and going into the shadow aspects of Pisces with the illusion, because that could expand as well, because Jupiter touches, anything Jupiter's touching, it expands it. So knowing it could also expand that illusion, it could expand that desire to want to disconnect. But the invitation is, let yourself feel it fully and move it through your body, because that is going to help light that fire. That is going to help ignite you to be part of the transformation, to show up in your lane and do what you're here to do, whether that's raising money or being on the front lines or being a part of the revolution or speaking truth to power or helping shift legislation, going to Washington, D.C., whatever it is for you. Allow yourself to stay in your lane, do what you're here to do. I am a fire starter and a catalyst, so I'm here in my lane, catalyzing you to show up and do what you're here to do, to really be who you're meant to be now, and allow yourself to participate in dreaming this new dream awake instead of going back to sleep, dreaming our collective destiny of what is possible on the other side of where we are right now. As we cut away the patriarchal bullshit that is no longer serving us, as we exercise our sacred no, as we bring that forward as part of the revolutionary times that we are in now, and really letting ourselves be in this chrysalis process, be in the birth canal, and know that it might be uncomfortable and it might be challenging and it might feel at times completely overwhelming. And when that happens, let yourself rest. Charge your light body back up so that you can stand in your sovereign feminine power, in your full holographic light essence, and bring that forward so you can sparkle shamelessly for the good of all. That's the whole point of all the work I do. And so that is why you are here. And beloved, just wanting to deeply encourage that and to cleanse and purify yourself for this journey, to really cut away what's no longer in service. And this card even has blood vessels. So perhaps doing a cleanse in your physical body, a liver cleanse, letting yourself really tune your channel, detox your channel so that you can be a pillar of light between heaven and earth in these times, because she is a pillar standing strong here with those lips and lightning. She is speaking truth to power. She is truly showing up to help guide us across the rainbow bridge into new life. And Chiron is also known as the rainbow bridge. So you might want to look in your birth chart as to where your Chiron wound is, because that is a key to your destiny. It is a key to how you are here to serve with the gem in the wound. And if you're not sure about that, I'd be happy to do a one-on-one oracular astrology reading with you to tune in to your unique cosmic code and support you if you're feeling like, oh, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing right now. I have no idea how to show up in service. Book a one-on-one session. The link will be below. I'd be happy to support you in stepping into your embodied leadership potential in this way, because it is essential now. It is essential now more than ever with what is happening in our world. And so really allow yourself to lean in and to really get clear about, okay, what is my lane? What am I here to do? What brings me wildly and unapologetically alive that I can bring in service to the collective rebirth that we are in? And cut away all the rest. Focus, focus, focus your life force energies. I can say personally for myself that, creating this oracle deck, I had to bring in a level of focus that I have never had to bring in before to be able to birth this at this time. And I believe that it is here for us directly for what is happening now. It is medicine for the Aquarian age. It's a deep tool of transformation and support for the Pluto return of the US that is affecting the whole globe. This is truly a nourishing support tool to help you tune in. And so if you don't have your copy of the Oracle yet, highly recommend that you also receive this wisdom, because the guidebook has so much medicine to help inspire you, to help keep you lit up, to help keep that fire alive and really lit during these times of transformation and transmutation and releasing this old patriarchal paradigm and stepping into a whole new way of being as individuals and in the collective, and leaning in deeply to the feminine to help us lead the way in that. And so that is the medicine that's coming through today. Got a little fiery for you, but really feeling that. Also, I've been a lot in the water. My moon is in Pisces, so this new moon I'm going to be feeling, and I have been already, and I'm letting myself feel it all. There's been a lot of tears. Let yourself shed the tears about what is happening, to let yourself feel the horrors and to not turn away, because that is what will inspire you to be all that you're here to be. It's what will inspire you to show up, to not go back to sleep. So that is my deep prayer, that we don't go back to sleep during all of this Pisces energy, and that it actually helps us to dream the new dream awake. It helps us to wake up from the nightmare and dream the new dream awake, to dream our collective destiny awake. So that is the invitation for today. All the links will be below. And again, if you want to go in deeper here to these energies and how you can show up in service at this time, book a one-on-one oracular astrology reading, and we can really tap into your deep medicine and what is calling you forward at this time to be in support. So sending so much love your way. Until next time, sparkle shamelessly for the good of all. If you liked this video, please click like, subscribe, share it with your friends, share it with somebody that you feel you need, that needs this inspiration and this medicine at this time, and just trust any intuitive hits you get around that. And can't wait to see you next time, beloveds. And as we move into Women's Month as well, and International Women's Day coming up soon, I'll be beaming in with more for that coming up. So sending so much love your way, and see you next time, beloveds.